Hey guys, Chris Clothier here again with another podcast coming to you live from Memphis, Tennessee with the Grind Podcast. Thank you very much for joining me. It is a Friday morning, and look, for those of you, I know there's some out there who watch this on video. You will, listen to this in your own time. It might be Monday where you are. It might be a random Thursday afternoon, but it's still Friday where I'm at. You don't have to send me comments telling me what day you're listening to it, although I appreciate the comment. I got one of my comments recently, somebody made sure that I understood that it was Thursday where they were. But of course, for me, it was Friday when I'm recording it. So whenever you're listening, whatever day it is, I hope it's fantastic. For me, I'm getting ready to start into a big weekend, hopefully, taking a couple of days off for myself early next week, recharging, re-energizing, which kind of takes me, in a way, right into today's topic. If you've been joining us and you're watching or listening in succession, so you've heard some of the other podcasts that we've been building up to today, or you've even watched them on video. First, if you're watching on video, and this is the first one you're watching, this is not my normal desk. I'm not going to go into it. We're not going to discuss why I end up at a tiny desk. Just for reference, go back and watch the previous videos. You'll understand that this is not normal for me. Hopefully this changes soon. But until then, I'm coming to you live from Tennessee at my tiny desk, and we're going to wrap up. I wanted to kind of wrap up the last few episodes and kind of bring it back around for entrepreneurs into this kind of holistic, office view, how we approach a lot of different topics that we're all dealing with today with a labor shortage, coming out of a pandemic. And I say coming out, I realize that there's still, we're all still dealing with the effects of it. And some of us are still dealing with, kind of the adjusting to this new business world. Well, during the last 18 months, a lot of things have changed in the workplace, and a lot of expectations of teammates, you may call them employees, that these things have changed. And what does that mean for us as entrepreneurs and how we go about accomplishing our tasks, making sure everybody on our team accomplish their tasks, and how do we kind of fit into this team mold mentality, right? So that everybody's getting fed, everybody's getting, kind of touched the way that they want to be touched, and everybody is kind of, growing in their field, in their job, and helping us grow as entrepreneurs. So, one of the things we've been talking about here lately, and I'll just tell you, in our executive meeting, it came up the last couple of weeks, and before I go into the full discussion of it, I'll tell you that we didn't necessarily come up with a policy. We don't have this defined policy, but these are the things that we were discussing. And it came down to the use of cell phones in the office, at our desks, during the day. And some of our team, we praise them for being leaders. And by that, I mean that they recognized that they needed to have a discussion about the use of cell phones, personal cell phones during the day at our desks. But they also, we recognized from the discussion that they needed our guidance as well. And some of our guidance kind of centered around, how do we work today? Are we multitasking? Are we creating white noise? Are we creating distractions? I did a podcast about a couple back about chaos, and the fact that my world revolves around chaos. I like it. I like the abnormality of, every day is not the same. I like, as I kind of said, my mental quirks are things like I need to come in and I need to have change. And so this constant change, this constant movement is good for me. If you could see my desk, I talked about this, my desk in my office area, I've got, as I look around right now, a lot of people would walk in here and turn around and walk right back out and be like, I cannot deal with that. Now it's nowhere near as bad as some I've seen. I don't want to paint the picture out worse than it is, but the reality is that I thrive in chaos. But what I don't thrive in is multitasking. I don't believe in multitasking. I don't believe in this idea that I can do 2, 3, 4 things at the same time and be good at all of them. I am, it goes back to my theory about time management and the fact that I don't keep a calendar. I do show up sometimes late when I put an appointment down. But the reality is that when that occurs, it's because my previous appointment is getting 100% of my attention. I never think about where do I need to go next. So I don't have one foot out the door and one foot in the door in a meeting. I am in the meeting, and otherwise I'm out. When it's over, I roll. I cannot multitask. I cannot have multiple things up in front of me. When I was writing my book, The Turnkey Revolution, I didn't like music playing. I didn't need the TV playing. I didn't need, distractions so I could sit there and write. What I needed was quiet. I needed just myself to be right in there, centered and focused, and pounding out pages of this book. Other people will say that, hey, I need the distraction. I need noise. I need podcasts. I need, something visual that might be happening off, my peripheral vision. And it's so interesting that as our team was talking about the use of personal cell phones at the desks, we recognize, I think a lot of us recognize that for some people, that white noise is not a distraction. That white noise is something that helps them focus. It eliminates distraction. It helps them really zero in on what they're doing. So, and for some people, here's the kicker. For some people, it was like they might want to listen to a podcast in their earbuds at their desk while they're working on their computer, working on whatever it is they do for the company. For someone else, it might not be a podcast. It might be something that some of us say, well, that shouldn't be done at work. Like, hear me out, TikTok. I got TikTok videos or whatever playing off in the corner over here, and I'm got my ear pods in and I'm paying attention to my computer. And every once in a while, I may look over and see that and laugh. Oh, yeah, that was funny, and just keep going. But it's what keeps me it was what keeps me from being distracted. It's what keeps me focused in, and the ability to harness all of my energy towards my job. I just need that little stimulation that's off to the side. Same thing goes, believe it or not, with having possibly something visual playing off to the side, whether it's videos or a movie or something. And it's crazy as that sounds, whether it's in another browser on the computer, whether it's, an iPad or a phone off to the side, just this idea that some people work well in an environment where they have white noise, things to drown out everything else going on around them so that they can focus. Now, does it mean every once in a while their eyes shift or their mind for a second takes this break and watches or listens, whatever? Sure. But, we really recognize as a company that we have to come down to, is the job getting done, number one, and is this a distraction, not just to the person at the desk that's using their personal cell phone or, like I said, an iPad or another screen on the computer, but are they distracting others around them? All right, are they laughing out loud or reacting to whatever's going on kind of peripherally around them? Are they telling somebody next to them, hey, come here, watch this. This is my favorite part of this, or check out this TikTok I just saw, whatever it ends up being. If that becomes the norm, then the use of the cell phone or the iPad or it's now a distraction. That becomes something that we have to step in and stop. But in today's work environment, especially coming out of the pandemic, when people were working at home, when people had all kinds of things going on, in some instances, you're trying to teach your kids kindergarten. Why you got another kid that needs help with 7th grade math? Why you got a report due and you're supposed to be on a meeting in 5 minutes? I mean, all this is taking place at the same time. How can we be great at all of it at the same time? In my opinion, you can't be. But that doesn't mean that some of us don't need that distraction in order to tunnel in order to really bring us into focus. And we had to recognize that as a company and provide leadership to our leaders, in our company that, hey, let's be aware and let's teach our team that, hey, we don't want the personal use of cell phones or, if you're making a FaceTime call with a friend or a family member that needs your attention, but you're also doing your work. We don't need these things to be distractions. We don't need them to take us away from our focus. We don't need them to cause us to make mistakes. You follow me? We don't need them to enter the wrong data into the wrong portal in our, propertyware system. We don't need to key punch the wrong numbers into a deposit and suddenly now we have a accounting snafu occur. We don't need that. But as long as we can get our work done properly and executed the right way, we also don't need to try and dictate this is how you do it. Y'all have seen me on all these podcasts if you watch the videos. Sometimes you see me in T-shirts. You've seen me in ball caps. You've seen me in a collared shirt here. I wear shorts, I wear athletic shoes to work. We have no policy around what everybody has to wear every single day into the office. We allow people to kind of dress freely to be themselves to a point, right? But my point with that is that when you allow your team to express themselves and to figure out what's the best way for them to perform, and then you hold them accountable to the expectation. What's the result we're looking for? It works. At our side, look, we do physical fitness. It's a big deal. We have a lot of people that leave. Sometimes they leave early. Sometimes they're leaving in the middle of the day. They work out. They do whatever it is for them, whether it's walking or going to the gym. Perfect. No problem. Do what you need to do to be happy up here, between the ears. But get your work done. If you need to go to donuts with dad, if it's a day where whatever, you need some personal time, and by personal time, I mean just to handle whatever it is you want to handle, go do it. Just get your work done. And we kind of took that policy that we've had of our expectation is excellence in your work. So however that's defined by you, however you can achieve it, knock it out. We took that to the next level of saying that probably should apply as well to the use of personal devices. But we want the leaders to be able to dictate that to their individual team. So, hey, don't let it distract you. Don't be a distraction to others. Make sure you get your work done at an excellent level. I mean, if you can hit all that, we should not try and dictate to people how they need to operate. And the same thing with me. So I go back to that whole multitasking thing and the chaos that I have around me. Very few people would thrive in this environment that I create for myself. And that's okay. I would not thrive in an environment of very cookie cutter spreadsheets. I need to sit down and be very robotic, methodical. That's not the way my brain works. I can't do that. I cannot be in this, I've created my office and everything is in perfect place and, it's always going to be the same every day. That would get very, very old to me. I have to have change. That's just kind of one of the ways that I operate. And I recognize that about myself, but I don't hold anybody else to that. I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody else you can't multitask because I can't multitask. That's not fair to them. Here's the expectation I have. You need to go and accomplish this the best way you can accomplish it. As entrepreneurs, I promise you, we're all dealing with this. If you're looking for two words that kind of encompass this whole thing for our team, it's mental health. What makes this team member thrive? What makes them be the best version of themselves each day? And I can't dictate. I cannot dictate. I cannot dictate that to them. Everybody gets to decide what that looks like for themselves. Because in the end, we're entrepreneurs. We're business owners. And what are we really looking for? To me, it's two things. It kind of boils down to the end. And forgive me for putting it this way, but this is about the simplest way you can put it. We're here to get shit done. That's it. I mean, every single day, that's what we're trying to accomplish. No matter what it looks like, no matter how it's defined, we're here. We have a job to do. We have things we have to accomplish, okay? And we don't want a half-assed attitude from anybody. Anybody. What we want is everything. We want all of your effort. We want 100% of the best version of every team member we have. And whatever method they use to get that out of themselves, whatever method they use to be fully focused and fully engaged, that's fine. We have to recognize that as business owners and entrepreneurs. And it was really interesting that this came up, over the last couple of weeks within our office. It's the same time that I'm talking about this on the podcast in different ways. And then, of course, the team behind the scenes, the team behind the camera kind of pointed out to me that, hey, this is a really good topic to kind of wrap up here because we as a company have been dealing with it. There's lots of different nuances to what makes a great culture in a company, what makes a company thrive, what makes a team really, really perform at a high level. And often it's not one thing. Often it's not this written policy that you can put up on your whiteboard and say, because we do X, Y, and Z, we're excellent and we thrive. Oftentimes it is this ability to lead like an amoeba, meaning that you're able to change shape. You're able to adjust and maneuver around the needs of your people. And for us, I know we're over 100 full-time teammates now, and we're spread out across 11 different cities. And it's difficult, I recognize 100%. It's very difficult, even for our teammates out in the field who aren't here, that don't get a chance to see us every single day. It's difficult to always be your best. And so for us, we're kind of really recognizing that the way to help people be their best is to be flexible, to be honest, to be direct, to don't beat around the bush. Here's the expectation. I've got a general framework and a guideline of how you're going to get there, but you get to decide some of the subtle nuances of how you're going to be your best. And I think that's the greatest lesson that we can learn as entrepreneurs as we grow is that, we have to lead. And sometimes leadership means not, thumbing down on something. Sometimes leadership means that I don't have all the answers that are specific to you. I just know what I want to accomplish. You got to figure out how to get there with my guidance. So, guys, I appreciate y'all joining me today. I appreciate y'all listening to this last, 16 minutes of the podcast. I try and keep these things short and keep them succinct and to the point. If you have questions, if you want me to cover a particular topic, if if these podcasts are bringing up things in your mind and you want to delve deeper into it, maybe I'm going to do it on the podcast. Maybe I'll do it separately outside of it through email. Send it to me. Ask me the questions. Let me know what you want to talk about. Let me know what you want to hear from us. Our plan, I'll just put you straight up as we're approaching the end of the year. Our plan is to be bigger and better next year than we have been this year. It's the same every year. Every year is to be bigger and better than we were the year before. And bigger not in the case of ego, like we just want to be bigger, but bigger in the fact that we're not done growing. We haven't reached our fullest potential. We haven't been our absolute best. We've been the best we can be at that moment. But as we keep surrounding ourselves with great people and we keep helping them grow, as we all grow, there's no other way to go but up. And sometimes that means growing bigger. Sometimes that means stretching ourselves and demanding more. And so that's where we are going into next year. I look forward to sharing all that with you on the podcast as we go. Guys, until we meet again, commit to the grind. Thanks for joining me.